Starting a wildflower meadow from seed can be a very fun and rewarding project. I'm standing here in a tall grass wildflower meadow, which includes prairie grasses like big blue stem. We have yellow coneflower, purple coneflower, and cup plant behind me. And this is something that you might want to mimic in your own landscape. If you do, it's a very educational, fun, and rewarding project. But we want you to know from the beginning that it's an investment of your time and money. And you need to realize it takes 3 years from start to finish, kind of minimum, to expect to see an established wildflower meadow. So the first kind of section, I would say, would be focusing on planning. And it's really worthwhile to spend some time with that. Ideal times to seed would be spring or fall. Spring would be mid-May to mid-June, and fall would be mid-October through the month of November. And we do prefer fall seedings, as that mimics Mother Nature most, with the timing of seeds falling and overwintering. Next is analyzing your site, and there's a lot of information here. This information is also on our website, but it's important to gather this information as it will help you choose the right species or the right seed mix to plant. So what is the size of your area that you want to plant in square footage or acreage? What kind of light does that area get? Is it full sun, deep shade, a combination of both? What is the soil type? Does it hold a lot of moisture? Is it extremely sandy or wet? Is it a flat area, or is it a sloped area where there might be erosion issues? Very important too is what's the existing vegetation? That'll determine the next steps. So are you talking about taking out some turf grass and transforming that into a meadow, or an old field that's been fallow for years that you'd like to introduce wildflowers and prairie grasses to? Then your preferences. As you can see, a lot of these species are very tall. That might not be appropriate for where you would like to have your meadow. So your height requirements are a good input into making a decision on what to seed. What's your reason for doing this? Do you want to provide wildlife habitat? Do you want to mow less lawn? And then lastly, have a budget in mind of what you might want to spend on the seed, the product that's going to go in your project. Gathering that information will go a long way in helping you choose the right species that will be suitable for the site, or the right mix that will be suitable for the site. As far as seed quantity, if it's dry land like these species and these conditions here, it's 5 ounces per 1,000 square feet or 10 pounds per acre. If it's a wetland, which uses much finer seed, it's 6 pounds per acre and 3 ounces per 1,000 square feet. And then the next step is selecting the species, and that's all based on that list of things that I just described. So even though you might like a certain plant, if it doesn't do well on your soils or your conditions, it's going to be a waste and probably not established. So it's really important to analyze your site and then choose site appropriate species. Also want to mention using a cover crop, and a cover crop is something temporary, something that grows fast. These perennials take 1 to 3 years to establish. A cover crop establishes very quickly, within a few weeks, and holds the soil and provides some green growth or annual wildflowers that first growing season, which can be very helpful as these grow so slowly.